Hello everyone, welcome back to Lada Love. It's been a little while. I've just been growing, learning, maturing, and every other cliche word that you could think of, you can put it in the sentence. But really, no, it really is simple as that. And I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, actually, is how simple things really are and just how much we complicate them. For me, a huge factor in being able to achieve simplicity, whether that's within my own thoughts, actions, something I'm creating, it's to be a child. Now, in a lot of aid for the intellect, they will tell you that, you need to tap into your inner child. You need to, caress that inner child. You need to nurture that inner child. You need to hold that inner child close. But the truth is that I think perhaps we baby the inner child a little too much. What I really think our inner child needs is to take over us. It needs to take over us and who we are. Our body, our essence, we need to become a child again. Because only in this essence are we able to naturally attract what is right for our soul, what fits the tremble of our heart, is what I want to say. And the biggest thing that I've noticed recently is I'll be like, I'm an adult. I can speak like an adult, I carry myself like an adult, I handle a situation as an adult. But really, at the end of the day, I really just suppress and oppress myself a lot. There's a lot that I don't say, and it's all in the fear of hurting the other person's feelings, or saying something wrong, or doing something wrong. But that's incorrect. It shouldn't have to be that way. Children, and why I love to spend time with children so much is because children, they don't care about such things. They don't care how they're going to sound if they say something. If they have something to say, they say it. They release an emotion. If they want to cry, if they want to be happy. That's why it's so much easier for them to get up and keep going. Figuratively, right? Or literally. I hate those words. It's important to have, and it's interesting because even though children can be perceived as very light and kind of like, they feel so much deeply. I mean, a really good example that I can bring up that I give people to understand, for example, when we are 16 years old, right? It's a puppy love to everybody around us. They've been there, done that, we may or may not get over it, who knows? But to us in that moment, it feels like everything. It feels like this is it. This is the one that I truly believe I could be with, And we really feel this way, but on the side, nobody can ever tell on the side. And the older we get, the less we express ourselves. And it's all for many reasons. The reasons are endless. I think that I just keep wanting to say oppression. It's a self-imposed oppression. And of course, it's self-imposed, but the thought that gets you there it's a very collective thing, right? It accumulates over a course of many lifetimes, or just this lifetime, depending on the scenario. And it can get really difficult to maintain that, especially as you realize such things. It's even more difficult if you try to come at it as an adult. As an adult, we routine everything. We compartmentalize everything. This is at this time, this is at that time. Now, I'm not saying anything. That's, of course, very good too. Discipline is something that I struggle with personally. But to the extent that I see people pursue that for all the wrong reasons, right reasons they think, I think that's unhealthy. I feel that's unhealthy. I've witnessed how unhealthy that is, because that is also oppression. Time, we all know, proven by science, is just an illusion. It's just for our mind, our minute mind, to be able to comprehend what we are, what we live in, why we move, how we move. You know, it's just one of the currencies of the world. Just one of the many, many currencies. That's a different video. But, you know, it's definitely giving into that childlike ability. Children, they don't sit and look at the clock unless they know they have something, you know, going on. But I mean, they're just in the moment. I've very seldomly met a child, and I spent a lot of time with children that was not in the moment, whatever that moment transpired to be, you know, regardless of what it is. And I've just been really thinking about that. And I've always had more childlike personality to me, more of a childlike essence, I would say. But that was oppressed, that was put down by outside factors, by internal factors, and for many, many years I was not able to access that. And this is also why I prefer the company of children over that of adults. It's funny how I say adults, right? So, you know, sometimes people may look at me as though I look at things a little too light, as though I have pink colored glasses on, you know, or rose colored glasses, or that I'm delusional, or whatever the case may be. But honestly, isn't the magic in that? Being able to have a little bit of fantasy, being able to indulge in emotions other than what you're so used to. You know, I just feel like we are so harsh on ourselves when we want to have fun, because somewhere in the back of our head, something or someone, a voice, doesn't matter what or whom, tells us that that's inadequate, that it's a waste of time. You know, and it takes away not just from us, but it also takes away from our parenting. It takes away from our children. It takes away from everyone around us. And that is, I don't want to say unfair, because I hate that word, honestly. I feel like, you know, life is unfair. It is what it is, but it's more, it's like, I'm hearing solemn. It's like a feeling that you can't ever get back. It's a moment you can't ever get back, and it's a regret the moment that moment passes, you know. Not giving enough attention to someone or emotion because you aren't able to give any to yourself, because you haven't allowed yourself to have a moment. You know, we're so adamant on getting over things, oh quick, you know, look at me, I'm so fast, wow, I got up, you know, I keep going, this happened to me and that happened to me, and that's admirable, that's honorable, but you also need to grieve. I never grieved before. I thought I did, but I honestly didn't. That's why I had so much pent up emotions and energies inside of me. You know, I never grieved properly. That's why in the story of the turtle and the rabbit or whatever, I'm definitely the turtle. I don't believe in a competing. I don't believe in competing with time. I don't believe in competing with people. I don't believe in competing with myself. You know, others say, oh, I want to be better than I was yesterday. I just want to feel good. I don't care about being more and better, and it's not what I'm after. I personally just want to feel good. Regardless of wherever God and the universe takes me, I want to feel good. I want to be in the moment. I just want to be present. And a lot of people will say that, and you know, I huge bow to those who have achieved that for even a millimeter of a second or whatever, because it's so difficult when there's so much noise, especially for someone like me. You know, I feel people tremendously deeply, and which is often why I stay away from a lot of people. You know, I don't have the right to determine who deserves what, but I know when people are worthy of more, and I cannot stand on the sidelines and not do anything or say anything about it. But when I do try to, even though I know the person has to want to help themselves, but I at least try to put a little bit of a spark in their ear, you know, they take it the wrong way, or they react the wrong way. This is not about, it's not about me being where I am. It's about what brought me here, what helped to bring me here. It's what woke me. And God and the universe, you know, they say God is going to make an example out of this person, or God is going to make a miracle out of this person. Well, I fucking thought the other day, I'm going to make an example out of God, out of the universe, whatever you believe in. I'm not even anal like that. I'm going to make an example out of that which I've had since I was a child, and that's blind faith. Blind faith that you can change. Blind faith that you can be more. Blind faith that you can feel, and feel it all. That's what makes you alive. Not constant bliss. Not constant fucking cherry on the top. That is not reality of our world. And honestly, I don't think we would even want it to be. That's why I'm really into not picking just one thing or the other, not being on just one side or another. We are meant to be both. We are meant to be both, and when we achieve that unity between those two things, to me that will be evolvement. To me that will be the beginning of true evolvement. And I've never been really a science person, you know, I'm not too much, honestly. I'm more emotion and arts. But lately I've been more diving into numerology and etc. And it just amazes me. And I'm always constantly seeing these numbers all around me, literally. Even when I try really hard not to, they're just there. You know, such is the time in my life right now. And it just amazes me at how systematic and synchronistic this whole world is. You know, when I talk about magic, it's not fairy dust and sprinkles and shit. Like, it's not like that. Magic can lie in a person's power. For example, you have a chef. Everybody makes that recipe, the same fucking recipe, but only that one chef's meal tastes like magic. That's because they are magic. There's something in their essence. It's like when your grandmother cooks you something, or your mother cooks you something. You know that there's that emotional touch, right? And it's just crazy to me. But even that, it all comes back to genetics. It all comes back to your talent DNA. It all comes back to your spiritual DNA, to your galactic, however they say, DNA, to your flesh DNA. It's all very, very systematic, but it's so fucking deep. And just that, it just amazes me. And I've found a new passion for science, you know, because I always felt people that I would meet that would have a scientific mind, they would try to disregard my views, right? Or the views of many, I would say. But the truth is that it isn't one thing or the other, it's one thing. Science is magic and magic is science, you know. But even with that, for example, why am I not too big on crystals? You know, nowadays spirituality is a huge thing. It's become a trend, it's become a popular thing, you know. And I'm not saying anything. There's people that it will affect, hopefully. But the power does not lie in a thing. You should not even these, you know, these are more for you, the visuals. I could just pick up energies on intuition if I wanted to. You know, you give the power to whatever you are using, whatever you're reading, whatever you believe in, you give it power. So if you don't believe in it, then of course it's not going to come for you. It's not going to be yours. You have to truly believe in it. Now, I remember in 2018, I was going through some things and I was watching the show Highway to Heaven. Really old American TV show. Very, very good show. I advise everybody to watch it. And it is about a man, and he's an angel in a man's form, and he comes to the earth and he aids people and figure out different life situations, you know, relationships, community scenarios, you know, environmental scenarios. It's a very, very deep show. And when I was going through this stuff, I was getting into this more in depth, and I'm like, oh, I need crystals. I need to go get some crystals. So ironically, this is the only crystal I own. I went and got this thing. You know, and I'm like, okay, this is nice. You know, I'm protected now. And I come home, and mind you, this show has like 5 seasons, right? And I come home and I turn on whatever, season 3, episode 18, for example. I turn it on, and there's an episode there of this little boy who's has a lot of anxieties, insecurities, shyness, you know, just a lot of lack. And this angel in the human form, you know, he makes a rock drop in front of the boy when the boy's on a bike drive. And he makes it appear as if it's like a comet or something, you know, like, you know, he has the power to make it look like something more. And the boy gets this rock, and this angel man tells him, he doesn't have wings while he's talking to him, he just looks like human. He's like, oh, you know, this is a magical rock, it's a special rock. If you hold it in your hand, it will make anything that you want a success, you know, anything you put your mind to, it will be a success. But you cannot tell anyone of its power, not even your family. And the boy goes, okay, I won't tell anyone. So the boy, believing, having seen what he had seen, right, just a little bit of a miracle, and he grabs this rock or stone perhaps, and he goes and he starts conquering all different areas in his life, in his schooling, in his, you know. And at the end of the episode, it turns out that there was no power in that rock, not even one bit. It is the boy's pure will and belief in it that gave it power, gave him really power, you know. And out of all the times that I could have seen that episode, out of all the days, you know, I was watching it for a while, that particular day, and that was my only sign that I needed. And that's why I don't like to idolize things. I don't like to hang on to things or people. Everything is exactly as it will be, as it is meant to be. You know, and I feel that it is meant to be. Truly, 99.9% of the things in our life are meant to be. But God or the universe has gifted us with a beautiful thing such as willpower, such as choice. And He allows us that choice. But He also grants us the fate that comes with it. So if you make one choice, everything is predestined for when you make that one choice. But if you make a choice to go towards the other side, you know? And I am thankful that I've been able to make that choice. Even when I make a wrong choice or I derail, I still come back and make the right choice. And I do that by listening to myself. I don't really get my information from books, from other spiritualists, I suppose, if you could say. My information comes to me through my ancestors, through my heart, through signs and movies, music, nature, through my dreams. And honestly, I just somehow know whatever was bestowed upon me, I'm meant to release it. And no matter how hard I try to shy away, to hide away, I saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said, there are moments when silence is your worst enemy. I think it was Martin Luther King or something. And there are some things that are so necessary to talk about. These few things that I talked about, they needed to come out. I didn't even use the cards. I'm just gonna pull one. These aren't tarot, these are oracle, I suppose you could say. That's funny because when I was shuffling, this card came out and I was gonna put it there, but I didn't. The light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. Wow. Wow. I mean, this is just crazy to me right now. This is exactly how I understand everything that I'm talking about, especially the last part where I said that I feel the need that I have to let this all out, that I have to speak on these things. Having experienced them, having analyzed them, having lived through them, I'm able to just speak about them. Hopefully, whoever is meant to hear me will hear me. The light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. So to me, what that means is when you hold on to your light, when you hold on to your light, it slowly starts to eat away at you. It reminds me of a scene in the Disney cartoon Soul, where there's these souls there. They let a certain thought or a memory or a fear, something negative, consume them over and over again, and they slowly turn from a soul into this creature, right? And this is what I'm getting here, that you are this golden soul, this bright, loving, full soul. And when you allow yourself to dive into your fears, when you allow yourself to give in to that, you almost fall into this vortex, this abyss. And as you fall onto there, those that are trying to grasp onto you, for whatever reason, whether they're trying to help you or they're codependent on you, they go down with you. They go down with you, and it starts off as one small thought. One small thought that spreads. And here it's funny because something told me to flip it upside down, and I saw the word freedom here. You know, it's funny because when I look at it from this perspective now, if you were to flip that energy, right? It's like, you know, when you're laying and you play around with the water in the cup or somewhere in the lake or something, and you have this full control, and it's almost like the emotions are there, you know, and they're circling around in your mind and your thoughts, those negative shadow emotions, but you don't really pay them any mind. because you have so much warmth. I'm getting, you have so much warmth surrounding you, harnessing you all around. This is what you need to concentrate on. If you want freedom, be a child. Don't be like a child. Don't nurture your inner child. Just be a child. Be a child. And there is no way this world will say no to you. There is no way your heart will say no to you. Give your heart what it wants. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. And I got a lot for myself out of it. Whenever I share something with someone, I know it can be a little bit of a mouthful sometimes, or out of place perhaps, but I always feel I need to say something, I will say it. And as I'm reciting it to them, I'm really reminding myself, or I'm opening something new for myself. So I hope to join you guys again next week. I will be doing these once a week for now, you know, slow and steady. Commitment and discipline. But you know, also I'm just not one of those readers that can just do it just to do it. Like I have to feel inspiration, you know. Like I actually made a reading a few nights ago, but my heart was not there. My heart is here now, and I hope you guys felt that. And I just want you to know that my heart is open for you. If you need to talk to someone about anything, I would be more than happy to listen. I wish you guys very sweet dreams, or a good morning, depending on when you watch this video. Thank you so much for joining Lada Love, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.